The Burros of Berea is a conversational podcast. We study the Bible and we talk about it. Not all of us are of the same faith, and one of us doesn't actually have a faith.
And that's wonderful. We all love one another, and we're going to continue to talk about these things.
The things we believe in and the things we believe about what we read in the Bible. Not all of these are necessarily true. Some of it is opinion and speculation. Thank you for
listening and speculating with us.
There you go. That was good. Yes.
You are listening to the Burros of Berea.
Welcome back to the Burros of Berea. On my left is Slick Billy Kimsey.
Hello.
To my right is Cherry Lewis.
Hello.
Behind the glass is Andy Bishop of Giraffe Studio.
Hey.
Rocket Man. That one
When did I
didn't go
become
over
Rocket
very
Man?
I don't know. I just said it and I was like, that was dumb.
But you said it like last week, I think.
I did.
Did you
Yeah.
really? Okay.
I said in Rocket Man, Andy Bishop. And it's like, why did I call him Rocket Man? I don't know.
And Rick, the vest man wearing or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rick the Vest. Yeah.
I discovered that if I unzip it, I don't look as fat as if I zip it. Because if I zip the vest, then I've got this giant basketball in the front.
I think you should just lose the shirt. Go full Chippendale. Chip and Rick.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, if you do it right, your man boobs will distract from your stomach.
there you go. They'll
gotta
stick
just-
out the
yeah.
sides.
My
Yeah,
move-
they'll stick out
my
the sleeves.
moves.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you guys, we've been waiting for this. Ralph's not here, but I am not backing down. We are going to have this episode.
This is a go
This
episode.
is the one.
Okay.
So you got everything ready?
I don't know if I'm ready, but yeah, I've got some stuff. Yeah.
It better be good. How about you, Cherry? Did you get any ready?
Right.
No?
No.
Come on.
I'm not a jokester. I just laugh at everything, but I don't come up with anything.
Come on.
Come on, man. I think too
Come
much
on,
in the other
brah.
time. Sorry, yeah, I know, right, brah.
Come on, brah.
So what you got? So I said earlier, as a little disclaimer, and now that Billy's here in the studio,
Okay.
this is,
Yeah.
we're not making fun of the Bible.
Exactly. Because if you run this podcast the first, people will think we're making fun of the Bible.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
No, I believe the Bible is God's word wholeheartedly, and,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
believe it.
yeah.
And I would, far be it from me to ever want to make fun of something like that. That's not what my intention is. However, it is very funny to read some of these verses and not being in that culture and think, what in the world is going on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. If you didn't believe or whatever, and you just pulled some of these out of the text, you'd be like, seriously? Seriously, you're wasting 2 hours of your Sunday every day sitting in church listening to this?
Listening to this.
Pretty much the whole book of what is it? The Song of Solomon?
Yeah,
Solomon?
you could read the entire Song of Solomon and be like,
yeah, if you started there,
yeah.
you're out. You know, you're out.
I mean, and it's supposed to be a romantic book, and I've actually heard people preach out of the Song of Solomon.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like
I heard
around
about-
Valentine's Day, or just
No.
This guy was it was actually, he was a young preacher, and he was over at WGCR. He was he was a Mexican that was going back, I think, to be a missionary, and it was a brilliant sermon. Yeah,
Okay.
it was really,
Okay.
really good. But when I read it, I didn't see any of that, and then he expounded on it, and I was like, oh, okay, now I see what you're talking about.
okay.
Like,
So it's a romantic.
it's actually very erotic.
Give him just a few, because I just glanced over it and I was like, okay, this is way out of my.
I mean, as far as like the boobies and all that stuff.
Put your shirt back on, Rick.
I got my vest on, bruh.
Bruh.
Oh, that's a good look. No
Yeah.
shirt, but vest.
Yeah.
But very Fabio.
So
Hair in
let's-
the breeze.
The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, all right? This is the son of David, considered the wisest man whenever God said, what do you want? And he said, give me the wisdom to lead your people. So a lot of people would have asked for riches. He didn't. He asked for wisdom. God gives him wisdom, and then he gives him the riches too. So he's like the richest king, the wisest king. People from all over the world came to see him judge because he was so brilliant. All right, so let's start off. It says, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. I mean, what other options are there?
Yeah.
For your love is better than wine. Your anointing oils are fragrant. Your name is oil poured out. Therefore, virgins love you. Draw me after you. Let us run. The king has brought me into his chambers. We will exult and rejoice in you. We will extol your love more than wine. Rightly do they love you. I am very dark, but lovely. Oh,
Your voice is
daughters.
getting there. You
Oh.
got to.
I think I
A
get the
little more.
Barry White.
A little more Batman.
Oh, go for it.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Your voice is
No,
very
not
dark.
the Kool-Aid guy. Oh, yeah. I am very dark, but lovely. Oh, daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. Do not gaze at me because I am dark, because the sun has looked upon me. So, and it goes on and on. It's like
Yeah,
your
it's
eyes
not-
are like shimmering corn, and
There's only what 7 chapters?
Corn?
8 chapters done.
I don't know. I can tell you in moments.
Well, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen shimmering corn.
It's not.
I'm gonna say that to my wife.
You
I'll
should
be
say it tonight.
Baby, your eyes are like shimmering corn.
You look a little jaundiced.
So what did you bring? Let's hear a few of them.
Let's hear. Well, I've got some of them that is, but they've kind of put them in their own contents. But like, let me just read this one straight from the Bible because this is one of my favorites, and you might have to like tell me the story before because you said you read the Bible, right? And you pretty much know a lot about it.
Yeah,
So
I mean-
like you said, you just pull these out and you're like, oh, that's funny. But there might be,
And if we don't know, we can just read the surrounding context
it might
and see what's going on.
Something cool. But this one comes from Isaiah 36:12.
Oh yeah, I've got that in here.
Hath my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men that sit upon the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? I mean, that's,
It's in there.
I mean, that's nice. Yeah, I mean that.
I don't even understand what's going on there. Is there an ESV version of that?
There is.
That's
It's Isaiah what?
That's straight from Patches O'Houlihan.
So what was that? Isaiah what? 36?
36:12. Yeah.
36:12. So let's get the ESV.
I've requested a reread.
Well, let's see.
It's like at a spelling bee when they're like, use it in a sentence.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's go back a little bit. What was that? Verse 12.
Yeah.
Then Eliakim, Shebna, and Joah said to the Rabshakeh, please speak to your servants in Aramaic, for we understand it. Do not speak to us in the language of Judah, within the hearing of the people who are on the wall. But the Rabshakeh said, has my master sent me to speak these words to your master and to you, and not to the men sitting on the wall who are doomed with you to eat their own dung and drink their own urine? I like the King James version a little bit better. It's like the man that pisseth against the wall or
Yes.
something. Right.
So who are doomed with you, comma. I
Yeah.
felt like, okay, who are doomed with
who
you.
are doomed with you to eat their own dung and drink their own urine. I have no idea what the context of this is. I'd have to read the entire chapter. And so if you guys want to know what it's about, go to Isaiah 36, read the whole thing. You'll hear about eating your own poop and peeing on the wall.
Nice one.
So I did find another one from Song of Solomon. It's pretty funny.
Oh, really?
Your teeth are like a flock of newly shorn ewes.
Better than donkey.
Not just any sheep, newly shorn.
Newly shorn ewes.
So just a little fuzz on those teeth.
Yeah.
which have come up from their washing.
Oh.
So it's like right after freshly brushed teeth,
Yeah.
all of which bear twins. So she was buck-toothed, and not one among them has lost her young.
So full of slightly hairy but clean teeth.
Like they
but a
just
mouth,
came out of a lake somewhere.
but a mouth just slammed full of them. Huh?
What have you got, Billy? What else you got, man?
Hold on. I'm still looking.
Did you ever get the one about Elisha? So I'm going to give you the backstory. It's the one about the guys that called him bald head. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did see that one.
So I'm gonna give the backstory of it, and then I want
Okay.
you to read that one. So find it.
Well, let me see if I can find it.
Find it,
The
find it.
the balding man or whatever.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Elijah is a very well-known prophet, okay? And it's talked about in the New Testament. He wears he's the guy with the camel jacket. Not John the Baptist, but Elijah from the Old Testament. And there's this moment he brings on Elisha, who was a farmer. He leaves his trade. He basically leaves the plow and he goes and he follows Elijah. And he is about to take on the mantle of Elijah. So Elijah is this amazing prophet he's made the rain stop in all of Israel for 3.5 years. He has raised a young boy to life. she had this, what was it? Unending oil, unending food or something like meal whenever she made him a cake. Yeah, the widow. Mm-hmm. Just this amazing man. And so right as Elijah is leaving, he's being taken up in a whirlwind of fire, like on the chariots of fire. He doesn't die, and he gets taken up to heaven, and he throws his mantle down, and Elisha gets it. And Elisha is now the prophet of God, and he's getting ready to go do something. So he goes a couple places. Did you find it yet?
Yeah.
And so let's hear about Elisha.
And he went up from thence into Bethel. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up there, bald head. Go up, thou bald head. And then he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And then there came forth 2 she-bears out of the woods, and tore 40 and 2 children of them. She-bears. Go, bald man.
So basically, kids, never make fun of anybody that's bald, especially if it's a prophet. So Elijah's just like, all right.
George Costanza, when
Jerry! Yeah, I am the master of my own domain. No, he's basically like cracking the knuckles. All right, let's see how this prophecy stuff works. He's heading up to Bethel, and these kids are like, yeah, go up there, Baldy. Yeah, Baldy. You know how kids are.
Oh, yeah. That guy would never make it at my house. No.
And then he turns.
He would never live through my wife. He can't take a couple kids calling him bald. My wife's favorite subject to joke about.
And then here he comes. He turns around and he curses them. And these 2 female bears. And he kills 42 kids. I mean, it just kills 42 kids. And then the next verse is like, and then he went up to Samaria. You know, it's like, oh, okay. You got any more, Billy?
Yeah. Let's see here. What else we got? I like to, because some of these that you look up are better if you read them straight out of the Bible. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah. How about I read a funny proverb while you're looking up yours?
Ooh, I had a proverb.
Do you?
Somewhere. You give me yours.
About like a gold ring?
This was talking about a wife, I think.
Oh, yeah. You can have that one. I'm a newlywed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can't.
Proverbs 11:22. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion. Do the math.
And a pig's nose.
Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion.
Now, as a farmer, we put rings in pigs' noses to keep them from rooting.
Okay.
Same scenario here.
Hey, listen.
Read that one more time.
Yeah.
Read that one more time.
See, I'm glad we got the farmer's perspective.
That's right.
Yeah.
That adds a whole dimension to this.
You know, I mean.
So, like a gold ring in a pig's snout. So, obviously, you wouldn't want to put a really high, precious metal ring into a pig's snout because they're going to root, right?
Well, yeah.
What's the purpose of putting something of great value? So, here it is.
I guess then the reason for putting a ring in a pig's snout doesn't change the meaning of the saying, which is what I was wondering if was going to happen. But no, I guess it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion.
Yeah, it still is wild to my brain. So
yeah.
So
what's your proverb?
So it's a pretty way to keep what is okay. If this is a metaphor, what is the pig rooting?
Would that be kind of like a waste, or kind of like if it's a gold ring, you wouldn't waste it in that pig's
capacity?
Snout.
No,
so.
that's absolutely 100% what it's about. But I'm just like I'm looking for the deeper, more awkward metaphor.
So let's think about a beautiful woman that shows no discretion. What is that? Is that a woman that bears all, shows all?
Yeah,
that's a husband's property. You don't want your wife showing all of her goods to everyone.
But it didn't say wife. It just said woman.
I just said woman.
Well,
I think it's
just a woman.
Woman could be a harlot. She could be a wife.
He's just a pig with a gold.
Just put a gold ring in her nose.
Some bing bing.
Maybe she's a gold digger.
Bling bling.
Bling bling.
The pig digs.
That's true.
Maybe.
Gold ring keep them from gold digging.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
I ain't saying she's a gold digger. She take my money. But she's rooting in a mud hole.
Not if I put a ring in her nose, she won't. That stops them from rooting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
There, we learned.
It's crazy. Okay, so the middle part of the nose, if you can picture the two nostrils, right, and the pig snout. So you just it's not even really a ring. Well, if you took a ring and cut it in half, so you've got two pointy, and I don't know why I'm doing that on a podcast showing you guys, but anyways, if you can imagine cutting a circle and spreading it apart, and the two ends of that is sharp, you take it and mash it into their nose, so every time they go to dig, it hurts. So that keeps them from rooting. Keeps them from rooting out of the pen or the pasture or whatever. If you have like free roaming pigs,
it's like a waste of her beauty. It's a waste because you're taking a gold ring into a pig snout. So you're trying to prevent this thing from, it's going to hurt itself with this costly piece of jewelry, basically.
Yeah.
And she is something to be valued. She's the gold in that. And so her no discretion, it's like a waste of her beauty. She has no discretion. She's just basically giving herself away for nothing.
It envisions her with all that power and wasting
She's giving
I
herself
think.
away. It's useless.
Yeah.
She's made herself useless. Yeah.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
I like it.
Oh,
What's your proverb? You got another one?
No, I don't like
now
that.
this one, I looked this one up in the Bible and it wasn't the same way. So I don't know what this is. If
It's probably just a different English version.
Well, that or to make it more funny.
Maybe.
So anyway, I'll read it. It says Proverbs 27:15 and 16. A quarrelsome wife is as annoying as a constant dripping on a rainy day. Stopping her complaints is like trying to stop the wind or trying to hold something with greased hands.
I have no comment.
Yeah.
Because it's raining or the other part.
Has your wife listened to this podcast?
No.
And she won't.
Not this one anyway.
So look that up for me, Rick.
Which one is it?
Proverbs 27. Look it up. What version are you going with now?
I use the English Standard Version.
All right, try 27, 15, and 16.
All right, let's see how it goes.
See how that one goes.
A continual dripping on a rainy day and a quarrelsome wife are alike. To restrain her is to restrain the wind or to grasp oil in one's right hand. So that's the ESV. Let's try the Common English. Let's see what it says.
It's similar-ish.
Should have looked up something about old grumpy husband.
The constant dripping on a
There's gotta
rainy
be something
day.
in
And
there.
listen, all you've got to do is put thou shalt together and create your own. At the end of the podcast, I have like 20 that I made up my own verses, which is going to be fun. Wait till you hear about the toilet seat. The constant dripping on a rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Anyone who can control her can control the wind or pick up oil in his hand.
Okay.
There you go.
So it's all a little
So in other words,
different.
you can't.
In other words, you can't control her.
Put a ring in her snout.
There you go.
Do you have Proverbs 21:19?
I don't think I have that one.
It says, "It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman."
Amen.
Let that be a lesson to you, kids. Learn it early.
Catch on quick.
Learn it early.
And that's why, see, listen, whenever the man goes into the garage, that's the wilderness.
That's our wilderness.
He's
That's all
trying
we got.
to get out of it. You're like,
That's all we got.
and you walk out and he takes a hammer to a perfectly good engine.
Because the wilderness has got she bears in it. Okay, and we staying away from she bears.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, this kid called me Baldy and I killed him. Wow. So I've got this one. Did you get any from Ezekiel about the making the barley cake?
No, I
All
got
right.
some about foreskin and Moses and stuff.
I'll let you have
Okay,
that
okay,
one.
okay.
Foreskin and Moses. That's a new band coming out in 2022. Very well, he replied. I allow you cow's dung in place of human excrement. Bake your bread on that.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 4:12. Now, before that, it says, and you shall eat it as a barley cake, baking it on the site on human dung.
Okay,
Why?
so this is wild. Why does that sound to me like it's a punishment? Like you have to do it over cow dung instead of human dung. When, look, if I have to cook over any sort of dung,
Kinda makes
human's
me
the lowest on that list.
think about the movie The Help when she baked that pie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, have you ever seen that?
No.
The Help?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a very good
she
movie.
makes a chocolate pie, and she puts her own poop in it and gives it to
Really?
the white woman that is running the house. Yeah.
Wow.
Later on, she's
Played
got
by
like all
Bryce
these
Dallas Howard.
blisters on her face, and yeah.
It's basically a Tarantino revenge flick, but with baking.
Yes, that's it.
When was this?
Oh, it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
It's
it wasn't long
yeah.
ago. Okay.
What? Maybe it was 10 years ago. I can't remember, but it's
To
a
me, that's a
modern
long time
movie
ago.
and a very good one.
It's wonderful to watch. You should
Yeah,
watch it.
it's a very good.
Sounds
movie.
great.
So here, let's try to find the context of that.
Talk about
on,
speaking of context.
cooking on the poo. By the way, that was a Disney book that went out the window. It didn't work too well. Cooking with Poo.
Another she bear that doesn't wear pants.
You human one, take a brick, put it in front of you, and draw the city of Jerusalem on it. Prepare the siege, build a wall, construct ramps, set up army camps, and place battering rams all around. Take an iron plate and set it up as an iron wall between you and the city. Face it directly. When it is under siege like this, press hard against it. This is a sign for the house of Israel. Now lie on your left side and set the guilt of the house of Israel on it. For the length of time that you lie on your side, you will bear their punishment. I appoint to you 390 days, 1 day for each year of their guilt. So you will bear the punishment of the house of Israel. When you have completed these days, lie on your right side to bear the guilt of the house of Judah. I appoint 40 days to you, 1 day for each year. With your arms stretched out, face the siege of Jerusalem directly and prophesy against it. I've now bound you with cords so that you can't turn from one side to the other until you have completed the days of your siege. You gather some wheat and barley, beans and lentils, and millet and spelt. Put them in a bowl and make your bread from them. Wow. Have you guys ever heard of Ezekiel 4:9 bread? You can buy it in the freezer section.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, no.
Guess what, folks? There's a little bit more to that. You gather some wheat and barley, beans and lentils, and millet and spelt. Put them in a bowl and make your bread from them. Eat it during the 390 days that you lie on your side. At fixed times, you will eat your food by weight, 14 ounces a day. You will also ration your water by measure, fixing a sixth of a hin at fixed times each day. Eat it like barley bread and bake it on human excrement while they watch. The Lord says, in this same way, the Israelites will eat their unclean bread among the nations where I am scattering them. So that's what's going on is he's showing
Yeesh.
them an image of a siege and what it's going to be like for them. And so they probably had to cook their food over human dung.
Yes, it
Dried
had
human
nothing
dung.
else to burn. I know people. I knew people burned cow dung. I didn't know that all forms of excrement were acceptable fire fuel.
Yeah.
I
don't think it is acceptable. It's the only thing they have in the
Well,
siege.
I mean, I didn't know it would burn at all.
I see.
Not that I think it's encouraged.
I think dried poop burns, period, right?
I guess.
If you put it in a bag, any of it'll burn.
On somebody's
Porch.
Usually it's dog poo, not human poo.
Unless you're my kids.
Dang it, Bobby. Why are you pooping in the bag? It's like I'm playing a trick on everybody.
Yes.
What else you got, Billy?
This is Exodus 4:24 and 26. At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me, she said. So the Lord let him alone.
Yeah, so in that, basically, they hadn't hadn't circumcised their child. Zipporah was from Ethiopia, and so she wasn't from the land of the Jews. So she didn't necessarily follow the Abrahamic covenant, which was to any male child on the 8th day that should be circumcised.
Okay.
And so because they didn't, then God was the Lord met Moses and was going to kill him. So Zipporah took a sharp edge flintstone and cut off her son's foreskin. But it says in the Common English Bible, then she touched Moses' genitals or his feet. It says or his feet. It's like,
Well, which one was it?
Which one's cleaner there, pal?
I mean, he touched his genitals or his feet. I mean, that's what it says. I'd be really curious. Maybe I should Strong's Concordance this one. The Strong's Concordance. So 420 is Exodus 4:24 in the Strong's Concordance. Let's see what it has to say.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a translation problem when you can't tell the difference between genitals and feet.
You know,
And then he massaged her feet.
And then she kicked him right in the feet.
Right
In the
feet.
secrets.
In the
In
the
secrets.
secrets.
Yeah. My secrets are dirty, meaning my feet or my genitals.
Regel. Regel, the Hebrew word regel. From H7 to 70, a foot as used in walking by implication, a step by euphemistically the pudenda. Yeah.
Euphemistically,
But they
the
do in
pudenda?
the phrase they use it for piss. This word can be used as toes, footstool, legs. Nothing about the genitals though. So,
So
I think the
somebody
guys,
just-
Piss is
somebody
close.
on the Common English,
Somebody in the ESV was like, let's spice this up.
yeah, Common English Bible. They're like, you know what? I bet she
Common
touched
English.
his balls. You know, jeez. What else you got there, Billy?
Let's see.
So as you're doing that, Proverbs 31:6, as a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his folly.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Context or no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
You ever watch the dog return to its vomit?
I
yeah.
have. Yes.
Yeah.
We have two dogs that are ours and one that's a foster. And worse than that is that if you hear a cat horking, you have to beat the dog to the cat's vomit.
Oh, so
That's-
you got the sick animals that eat other animals' vomit?
Oh, no. They're not sick. They just know it's free cat food. They're fine. No, they're fine. And so are the cats. Cats just hork sometimes. Cats occasionally just vomit a hairball or something. But no, the dogs are, just fine. They just know they know a free meal when they hear it coming.
Oh man.
Oh, nasty.
Yikes.
So what you got?
Hold on, I'm still looking.
Well, while you're still looking, here's one for you. I love this one about that Ethiopian woman again. So this is from Numbers 12, verse 1.
Wait, the foreskin lady? No.
Yeah, the foreskin lady.
Okay.
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. It's the redundancy of it. Because it's like, look what the author is basically trying to say to you. I'm going to read it again. Here we go. It says, and Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. It's just like whatever, like Eddie Murphy. Look, man, when back in the day, like when he did Delirious and Raw, and he was pretty hard. And he was hard. Like he would joke about
Does not stand up. P.S.
Yeah.
Raw, nope.
It doesn't stand up
No.
now. It doesn't.
Oh, no.
Because he said,
Awful.
you know, I make fun of homosexuals because they're homosexuals. And you're like, okay, you know, that does not
You got me
stand.
there.
No,
No.
it's rough to you try watching that.
Yeah,
now.
he's
It's-
super apologetic today.
It'll make you crawl out of your own chair.
It's cringeworthy,
It's
isn't it?
crangy. Yeah.
That and Richard Pryor.
No,
Yeah.
Ri-
Richard Pryor is like,
that hour, Richard Pryor's like King hour. Oh, that stands.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
stands. It doesn't have the same. Yeah, that's a good hour.
but not so much on Raw.
No.
But his leather suit, it stands
Yes, that's right.
all by itself.
Probably
today.
without him. Yeah.
What you got, Billy?
You pretty much covered the "It's better to live alone in the desert with a crabby complaining wife." That's Proverbs 21:19. What does Proverbs have a problem with wives?
It might be
I think so. Yeah.
whoever.
Written by Solomon, correct?
Some of them. Most of them were.
Most
Yeah.
of them written by Solomon.
Who had multiple wives.
700 wives and 300 concubines.
I think Cherry is drilling down to the center of this one.
yeah.
Who was really at fault here? The
Yeah.
women or you?
Yeah.
You know what they say? There's a common denominator,
Yeah.
right?
Takes
Yeah.
two to
that.
tango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
it takes
700.
701 to tango. A 700 wives, they're all mean.
None of them like me.
Yeah.
I can't do anything right.
No
You got anything
worries.
else?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, you go with one. Let me.
From Genesis. There's several from Genesis.
Oh,
It's just
yeah,
old
okay.
culture.
Okay.
Onan knew that the offspring would not be his. So when he went into his brother's wife, he wasted his seed on the ground in order not to give offspring to his brother. But what he did was displeasing in the sight of the Lord. So he took his life also.
There's a lot happening there.
That's a lot.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
Yeah. You need
Basically,
to slow down and read that again.
According to the culture, what happened, Onan's brother had died, and he was married to this woman. And by their culture, if she didn't have children, that it would be the brother's job to help her get children for the posterity for his brother, so that they could keep the land that they were given. And so
okay.
what happened was Onan, he didn't want to fulfill the whole duty. He didn't want to give her the posterity, but he didn't mind getting his rocks off.
He was.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And this was in ancient literature. This is the first time we ever hear of a pullout.
Wow, is that the world's first recorded?
I don't remember Homer mentioning anything in his Odyssey.
I don't know. I'd have to reread it.
And the
very
sirens
few,
are like,
very few pullouts.
Please don't pull out. I don't think that's what they were saying.
No. So he just seeded the ground right there.
Yeah, he just spilled, and he did spill his seed on the ground. This is pre-Shakespeare, man. This is pretty wild.
It's
Pre-Shakespeare.
awful.
Yeah.
Seeded. That's just gross sounding. I don't know.
While you're looking for that, I got this. So it says, and there was a great famine in Samaria as they besieged it, until a donkey's head was sold for 80 shekels of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 shekels of silver.
A cab of dove's dung?
Yep, dove's dung.
I guess it's like an English measurement system where there's a 2 cratchits to a flonk or whatever.
This is, let's see, where was this from? This was 2 Kings 6:25. Let me read this in the Common English. 2 Kings 6:25. So, evidently, he wanted some dove dung. Maybe he wanted a small fire.
Yeah. I guess that's the common theme, isn't it? Yeah, we burn the poop.
Yeah. I don't know. 80 shekels of silver. No matter how I read it, it just doesn't get any better. Basically, the siege was so bad that a donkey's head cost 80 coins of silver and dove's dung cost 5.
Is this the same siege that the guy had to lay on his side?
No, that was in Samaria. There's a lot of sieges in the Bible.
Sieges going.
Early Bible, lots of sieging. I'm glad I don't live in those times, for the record.
Me too.
I mean, although, if you were a prophet, you could bring out some she-bears for people talking about you being bald.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh for just a little bit of maybe very mean-spirited teasing, but still.
Right? Well, they stoned him to death for being disrespectful. I've thought about it a time or two.
I've thought about it.
Here goes. Leviticus 20,
Okay.
verse 15. And if a man lay with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast.
Not the dude
Are we saying
not the dude that laid with
an
the beast.
animal? Yeah, is it an animal, or are we calling a whatever a beast?
It's probably that pig with the gold ring in the nose.
That's her.
There she is. That was a beautiful woman that did not have any discretion. I always thought that was weird. You know, in the New Testament, whenever you read, I think it's John chapter 8, where it talks about the woman that was taken in the act of adultery. Did you ever notice that they never drug the man with her over there? Like, basically the story goes is that Jesus is out talking to his disciples, and suddenly the Pharisees bring up this naked woman. They were like, Jesus, this woman was taken in the very act of adultery. The law says that we should stone her. What do you say? Right? And the law does say. But the problem was, where was the man who was taken in the act of adultery? Like, what happened to that guy? Where was he?
Yeah. Now, I wait with bated breath. What was Jesus' determination in that?
Exactly.
He knelt down.
That's a good question.
He knelt down on the ground and he wrote in the sand. And they said, are you listening to me? This woman, the law says that you have to stone her. And he stands up and he says, okay, he here who is without sin can cast the first stone.
Yeah, there you go. Of
And it
course.
said from the oldest to the youngest, they dropped the stones and walked away.
Yeah, see?
The law
There you
say
go.
just to stone her or stone them.
Both.
Yeah.
And see, and that's the other thing. A lot of people think that it was just Christ was being compassionate, and he was, but also Christ fulfilled the law in his own flesh. So if the law said to stone someone and it had been legitimate, Christ could have picked up a stone. So because the man wasn't there and because he wasn't one of the witnesses, he couldn't stone her. He couldn't accuse her. So therefore, he couldn't take part in it. So they were trying to trick him and get him to be a part of it and see, will you follow the law or not? But he was following the law. And then when the woman gets up, he looks at the woman and he says, woman, where are your accusers? And she says, there aren't any. And he says, neither do I accuse you, because he couldn't. Neither do I accuse you. Go and sin no more. In other words, don't get caught doing that again.
Yeah.
Probably not working out for you.
Yeah. Keep your hands off the secrets.
What you
Or
got?
keep it in secret and don't let people catch you.
Hey, there
One of
you
the
go.
two.
Yeah, Cherry's got it
Keep
figured
the
out.
secret secret.
So,
What else you got?
So there was 0 women that wrote any chapters in the Bible.
What about the pseudepigrapha? Was there any of that?
No.
Any of the big, well-known ones written by women? No.
Well,
Isn't there a Gospel of Mary?
there is. So there's a
pseudepigrapha?
non-canonical books. Women were second-class citizens, so they didn't accept them.
Yeah.
And so the Gospel of Mary, Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was pretty much Jesus's closest disciple, honestly. In fact, I think it's also in, maybe it's Luke chapter 8. It tells you something very interesting about women in regard to Christ's ministry.
There was also one I lost while you're looking for that. There was a streaker, and I can't find it.
And lo, unto the stickball game.
Yeah. I mean,
Was
he
it the
just-
guy running around in the tombs? Naked
close to
and
that?
cutting
Yeah, because
himself?
I think they think it may have been Mark. It could have been Mark.
Okay, so that's that's at the end of, I think it's Mark. It's in the Gospel of Mark.
Yeah.
And it's after they grab Jesus and they're taking him off to be in front of the chief priest.
Bingo. We got a streaker.
Yep. And they pull off his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in my side study, I say it's Lazarus.
Of course you do.
Yeah, well, the reason. Do you know why?
We need to make a little song. Blame Lazarus.
I'm messing with you, Rick.
I know you are, but the truth is, why would this guy be wearing a linen cloth? They all didn't wear linen, this white linen like he was wearing. It was unusual back then. Either that or he was an Essene, which is what they used to wear. All right, so in Luke chapter 8, soon afterward, he went on through cities and villages, proclaiming and bringing the good news of the kingdom of God, talking about Jesus. And the 12 are with him, and also some women who had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary, called Magdalene, from whom 7 demons had gone out, and Joanna, the wife of Chuza, Herod's household manager, and Susanna, and many others who provided for them out of their means. Did you catch that? So the women were the ones that were basically funding Christ's ministry.
Huh. Oh.
But they were second-class citizens. And so the disciples would have never let them have any kind of power. But yeah, there are books that were written by women, but they were absolutely shunned. They didn't allow them.
Yeah.
And considered non-canonical. And with the way Cherry's looking at me, I can't blame him.
Cherry gives me a lot of looks, but they're usually like knowing looks. I get a lot of like knowing side glances that are always very entertaining to me.
Yeah, here's another one. Genesis 22. Now it came after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, behold, Milcah also has borne children to your brother Nahor. Uz, his firstborn, and Buzz, his brother.
As in Buzz.
Uz and Buzz.
Us and Buzz.
I love it.
Wow, that sounds awfully redneck for the Bible.
That was in southern Palestine.
Yeah.
It's real plain compared to some of the names in there.
It's true.
They had a wagon
this
where
is-
just the front half was jacked up.
Yeah, that is very bizarre,
Not
isn't
a
it?
top biblical name, Buzz.
As in Buzz.
Yeah, I call him Noah, but not Buzz. So
Did you find your other one?
I'm lost. Yeah, I can't find it.
All right, so here's some fake funny Bible verses
Okay.
to finish this one up.
Fake. What do you mean by
They're not real.
Oh, these are what you've made up.
These are not, well, not just me, but somebody did. It says, let those among you who are without sin be the first to throw the stone.
Okay.
The crowd looked at Jesus, believing he had a very good point. Then Jesus picked up a stone. Because he could.
Oh, goodness.
Let there be sound, and there was sound. Let there be light, and there was light. Let there be drums, And there were drums. Let there be an electric guitar. And there was a guitar. Oh, yeah. Let there be rock. I almost fell off the stool. All right. God said unto John, come forth and receive eternal life. But John came in fifth and won a toaster. In the beginning, there was nothing, and it was dark. And then God created light so that man would be able to see the toilet.
Oh.
And we still miss it, right, Cherry?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what the heck? So,
Yeah. In my own bathroom, Holly wrote, it's not for me. It was already there. It says, I aim to please. Please aim for me. So, and thou shalt keep this last commandment close, that thou shalt not create more Bible verses. If a man doth need to piss, he must first lift the seat, so as not to leave a residue on it. This is evil in the sight of his wife. If a man doth need to do number 2, do not lift the seat up. He must leave the seat down, and when he is finished, he must lighteth a match. Oh, no.
but the dung's not ready to burn then.
No.
It's not dry enough.
No. Got to give it a little. Everybody knows.
You gotta get that out, let it dry.
I just can't even imagine being in a city where you've burned through so much crap that that at some point you need to start burning the crap just to cook. Oh my God. How do you cook over a dung fire?
It reminds
There's
me of that.
no way that's not the worst thing ever.
It reminds me of that scene from Jarhead. You know,
I never saw it.
You've never saw it. It's not.
It's a Marine movie, right?
Yeah, it's not that great, but he's assigned.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I
assigned
never saw
to burn dung, and he pulls the buckets. It's it's barrels that's been cut off, and he pulls the barrels out of the porty johns that have been made, and he just pours diesel in it, and then lights them on fire. But these babies are fresh, so it just reminds me of that. I was trying to think of a dung movie, a dung burning movie.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Well, I can't imagine like cooking over a dung fire. Like,
That's like,
Could you say, honey, this smells great?
oh yeah,
Dung flavored.
yeah. Let's mix a proverb with the dung thing. So, never complain to a wife that your food tastes like crap when you've cooked over a dung fire.
Quarrelsome wife.
Savory smell.
Yeah.
let not ye who cooks with dung complain of the flavor. I think that sounds, you could probably word it a little better, but
I wonder if the food would give you gas.
Oh.
All right, so here's my last one. Eat this bread, for it is my body. Drink this wine, for it is my blood. Eat this Cheeto, for it is spray-painted styrofoam.
I just lifted this one from a meme that's going around
good.
right now, but it's like, so how many communions do you have to take before you've eaten a whole Jesus?
That's true. You think about it. Yeah. God. So the teacher asked little Johnny, she said, this is a math problem. She said, if you have $1 and you ask your father for $1.50, how much money will you have? And Johnny says, $1. She said, I'm sorry, you failed the quiz. He said, you don't know my father.
That's a good one.
It's not bad. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to this week's edition of the Burros of Berea.
Well,
We're coming back next week. We're going to get into the side study of the mystery of the gospel. And it is action-packed. It really is something else.
Good.
And everything that we've learned about the divine counsel and Satan actually falls into place on the mystery.
That's
I
fun.
sent that to you today, Chair. Did you read it?
I hadn't read it yet.
Yeah, wait till you get to the end of it. Notice what it says about the heavenly beings. It's pretty interesting. So we'll be getting into that. And then when we get back with Billy and Ralph, we're going to finish the resurrection. We have the final episode, which we have not done yet, once we finish the resurrection. And then we're going to get into the Olivet Discourse. And I'm going to do that it's not going to be just a side study. It's actually going to be
Just
the
gonna go
rest of the
straight.
season. The Olivet Discourse is when Jesus talks about the end of the world or the end of the age, and it is fascinating. It really is. So we're going to get into that and finish out season 1. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Cherry. Thanks, Andy.
See ya.
Thanks, Rick.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya. I'm like Kevin James. I just want to be able to brush my teeth to where my boobs don't jiggle.
Right.
You know, that's all I'm after.